Okay, so back again and thinking about adding some finishing touches here. Bring a little of this neutral yellow around. I'm at a point where I'm able to just look and see what may have gotten covered up that I really wanted in here. I could put things back. I can also come back in with the black and reestablish some of those darks. A little bit deeper and darker in there. I'm going to add a real light touch of my warmer green to some of these evergreen leaves on this side where the light is hitting them. I feel like it needs a little bit of warmth. Be sure to squint and stand back while you're working. Okay, so where I left you, we had softened up the top edge. I'm going to come back in, grabbing a clean paper towel now. I'm coming back in with my light here. Actually, I take that back. I'm going with my mid-tone blue, and I'm going to bring this down a little bit, skim a little bit. I want to just reestablish this edge. And then I'm coming back with my lightest blue. And I don't want to make a sharp edge or a hard edge, but I just want to freshen up the color a little bit. And at this point, I do think I'm going to come back and put, I like how the trees come way up here, so I'm going to reestablish that up here. And then create some sky holes. All right, so here we go with some of the mid-tone blue sky holes, sorry, because these branches and leaves are that high up that they're in the mid-tone blue range of the sky up there. And I'm squinting and just sort of playing to see where I can find, where I can kind of dip in and cut in and create a feeling of space between branches or leaves. I'm going to come back down with a lighter blue and create some marks. They're very often, these marks, these sky holes, are geometric in shape. They're not a circle. They're a series of branches and leaves that overlap each other, and they usually form a geometric shape. So enlarge a photograph one of these days and of trees and take a look and see what's going on in there. You'll see there's squares or triangles, and they're not just random ... It's sort of important to kind of think through what makes sense. If you're doing some holes in vegetation where there's a sea, an ocean in the background, the holes would be the color of the ocean. By the way, the sky holes usually go a little bit darker than the sky. I'm actually using this color because I feel like it needs this bright, but it could go a little darker, really. And I'm going to bring a few little bits of light down. And I'm going to go over some of these that move up higher with my mid-tone blue just to calm it down a little bit. Okay. I'm going to add a little sparkle here. And I can even take my eraser and drag a clean corner through to create a rippled surface, or a reflective surface, I should say. I'm going to come back in and put a little of my bright yellow back into this. All right, let's finish this up on top with some branches. And I'm going to come back in with a little bit of this vegetation again. Just to give it a little zap of some pretty light green color. And I sort of missed this whole area down here on the right. And I don't think it needs a whole lot of attention, but it does need something. It needs some color. Okay, I'm going to come back in now with a hard black pastel. This is actually a Conti stick, which I love, and it's great for, I could use a pointed, a sharpened new pastel, or any sort of hard stick, but I like this. I even use charcoal, vine charcoal very often, but I kind of like this because I like the feel of it. I like this flat surface. I'm going to start pressing to make a thicker line, and I'm just creating a little bit of the branch business that's going on in there. I can always come back and cover this up, so there's no mistakes. I see it's a little lighter in here, and I'm going to give this a little kick. At this point, it's some final marks. I don't want anything too hard edged or screaming out too much, but a little bit of light there I thought would be nice. And I'm also going to come back in and add a little bit of that rosier pinky orange. Just to reestablish, things sometimes go dull as you're working. Whether color falls on areas, and it, or you make a swipe with your hand and it softens and dulls things. So. Okay, let's continue this. I'm looking at my photo reference just sort of as a guide, but I'm not trying in any way to replicate exactly what I see. I'm just looking for the direction that these move in and how thick they get as they come to the tree trunk, and that's the kind of information I'm looking for. But otherwise, I'm just sort of winging it, doing my own thing. There's some that are just in between clusters of foliage, so you don't see everything in front. Some of it's blocked by clusters of leaves. And it's not real clear what's going on here. I think I'm going to come back in and do a little bit of negative painting here with the color of the green leaves that are behind this tree. So there's an example of doing negative painting that's not, it's not sky coming through. It's the trees behind this. And that's just what I needed there. I also feel that these little marks add a little interest, a little punch of color. This is a little harsh. I'm going to I don't want to get rid of it. I'm just going to knock it back by touching it, softening it a little bit. Cutting through it a little bit. Let's see what else I need here. There is some foliage on this branch that I actually like, and this trunk, I'm sorry, and I do want to create this. I like this feeling of this little fir tree or whatever it is. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to come back with a little bit of this, again, darker yellow that I started with, really soft and smeary, no detail up here, but I kind of like the, I kind of like this offset to the side up here. A little of the darker green. And I do like the feeling of the sky coming through that. So I'm going to come back in and clean it up a little bit.